Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boys Before Those with Good Taste. I'm Matt. He's Lenny.
Bang, bang.
And thank you for joining us in Good Taste Studios. As always, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, mash that subscribe button. What's up, buddy?
Nothing, man. Coming off Black Friday weekend here in the States, as
And
they say.
I can still see the bags under your eyes.
Yeah, rough weekend, but I made an important purchase this weekend, Matt.
What was that?
I bought one thing the whole weekend. Two things. A video game I can't remember the name of. Maybe not money well spent. And the movie Timeline. Are you familiar with this movie, Matt?
I feel like I remember the name, but I'm not drawing it here.
I bought this movie for $5 on I want to say like Saturday night. This is a movie from I want to say the year like 2003.
Okay.
And it features a young Paul Walker.
Oh.
R.I.P.
Nice.
And a young Gerard Butler.
Ooh.
Traveling through time.
Love me a young Gerard Butler. It sounds like you spent your weekend a lot better than I did.
Yeah,
because
what were you up to?
You watched an old movie, and I watched two old guys basically rub and hug on each other for a nice, smooth 8 rounds.
What kind of videos you looking up on Pornhub these days?
Oh, well, I'm
buddy?
talking about Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., baby.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. And I'm also just tired of everybody telling me that I should have enjoyed it.
You didn't?
No,
Why?
of course not.
Why?
Mike Tyson should have killed that man, and it was an exhibition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I want to see them killing each other necessarily, Matt. Like, I personally thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a fan.
Listen, I'm glad. I know that you like Turner Classic Movies, so that's right up your alley.
Yeah, no, I'm a Turner guy. Sure.
I know you are. That's why I said that. My point, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, get that out of my face.
Roy did not look great. I think that Mike Tyson, I would watch him do it again.
Mike Tyson looked fantastic.
Did it remind me a little bit of like being 16 and like body boxing with my friends? Sure. Yeah. Like it was basically, he was like, I can't knock him out. So I've just got to swing to the body nonstop.
I mean, he did a great job at showcasing that he came into this in great shape for his age.
He could have kept going. He could have done the 3-minute rounds.
Could have kept going.
He wasn't breathing heavy.
I think he could have finished that man in 2 rounds very easily.
Yeah. So
if you're taking that fight seriously.
So you know what, man? Daniel Cormier said something I think is very important. Is that if you were told like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, this fight's never announced, and somebody was just like, "Hey, man, would you pay $50 to just get to see like Mike Tyson like go sit at the ranch or wherever he trains and like just watch him and Roy Jones spar?" You'd definitely do that.
I would definitely do that. And then if you just added on the fact that I would get a chance to see Nate Robinson just get knocked out cold, sign me up.
Bad choice. Whoever his agent is, hire somebody.
Well, it's sad when he's doing it for a paycheck. Never a good sense.
He very well might have thought he was going to win that, though. You know what? Don't you think that his ego would be big enough? As a guy who's a 2-sport athlete, has played at the NBA stage that he has, I think he probably assumed based on his athleticism that he was going to win.
I think anyone who thinks that they're athletic thinks that they'd be able to try their hand at boxing. Jake Paul, who's been taking boxing very seriously, kind of showed him that athleticism, youth, and skills are going to play a major factor. And props to Nate Robinson for showing up. I was okay with the fact that he was in there. Didn't really love his performance, but shout out to Jake Paul.
Yeah, I don't, for what it's worth with the kid, he's not going to go and make an actual run in boxing here.
No.
I don't think either one of us are under the impression of that happening. But when we were younger, it was really popular to do what was like celebrity boxing. Screech did it. Yeah. The Fridge versus Manute Bull, I remember was one of them. So that stuff was huge. And he's basically just taken that blueprint and has now evolved it. And he's going to be the best in his lane. I can just like, he has the fundamentals, excuse me. And he clearly is trying. So as long as he's matching himself up against guys that don't fucking try, he's an idiot talking about Connor, and like I get why, but
listen, man, he's taking his mouth straight to the bank because I don't think anyone's expecting him to beat Conor McGregor. But if he can, you're telling me that kid can't bring in 1 million pay-per-view buys?
I don't think that matters so much as like I think he would need to fight at least 3 or 4 more of these like celebrity type matchups.
Yeah.
Whether it's I don't think Dylan Dennis makes him enough money to justify it on Jake Paul's side.
Yeah.
But if he finds another celebrity who's maybe find a hockey guy.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Like find me a a guy who played hockey who has like some real fucking toughness to him. Get him in there with Jake Paul.
I'm pretty sure you could find Jaromir Jagr somewhere.
I don't know if he's a fighter.
That man is 65 years old, still playing hockey.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy in the Bruins? Sean Thornton, was it? Why would either one of us know the answer to this question?
Not a hockey guy, but yeah, go ahead.
He was a big fighter. Put him in there. Fucking A. I was like looking for the one hockey guy I might know.
I mean, I knew Jaromir Jagr, and I'm gonna stop.
That was pretty fucking impressive. I was thinking Joe Thornton, but I was like, I don't think that guy's ever fought.
Well, for information that we don't really know, shout out to him for being able to make some money. We'll see how that ties in.
Don't fight any real boxers or MMA fighters.
No.
Please.
Do yourself a favor.
Owned,
stick to fighting YouTubers and retired NBA players. 100% you can do that.
Sports players. Make it like, what was the not the average Joe, like Joe's versus Schmoes?
Joe's versus Schmo.
No, I don't think that was the name of the show.
No,
dude.
I don't think it was, but I know like you'd get Ricky Waters would show up and he'd like tackle 3 average guys. And it was some of the best TV. Maybe a 20-minute show. Fantastic.
This is what that's what we should be doing here. That's kind of cool.
We'll move on from that.
Yeah, let's get into the real topics today.
I think the best news that came out of this weekend, aside from some 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds fighting each other, Daredevil officially hit its 2-year mark for cancellation with Netflix. And do you know what that means, Lenny?
Inform me.
It means that Marvel and Disney are now sole custody owners. That's right. I said custody. It's like a bad divorce. They now own the rights to Daredevil as well as all the other Netflix shows. And there's been a hashtag Save Daredevil that's been spewing around for about 2 years now. Just got some more leverage over the weekend.
Yeah, huge weekend. We got our guy Vinny D'Onofrio. He's out here really trying to push because he was awesome as Kingpin. And he wants to bring back the role.
Yeah, I think he did really well in the role and understood that this could kind of lay some foundation work for him in that role.
Did you enjoy the Netflix series?
I did. I did so much that it made me actually try to watch the Iron Fist, both seasons. I love Daredevil that much.
Can we rank our enjoyment of them real quick?
Sure.
So I think both of us agree Daredevil number one,
sure.
Right? For me, number 2, The Defenders.
Punisher.
So for me, number 3, The Punisher, even though I've only seen 2 episodes and one of them was in the past week.
No, I'm stopping you right now. You didn't even watch it. How are you ranking stuff?
I'm getting there, Matt.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, so then it goes to Punisher at 3. Number 4, Matt. Who's your number 4?
Luke Cage.
Did we say The Defenders?
You said The Defenders.
Fuck, I already used them. My next one would have to be Luke Cage, though I've never seen it. All
right. I feel like there's a trend here, Lenny. What are we saying right now?
No, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Jessica Jones.
Did you like it?
There's a reason why it's number 5.
It's my number 5 too. I've never seen it.
Okay.
But I've really liked Daredevil.
Can we just get past the fact that you watched 2 episodes of probably some of the best TV that Netflix has ever put out in The Punisher?
I have Okay, so this is what happened this week. This is very timely that this happened because this is.
I don't know. I can't speak for the people out there, but I'm furious at you right
now. So this week, literally, I hopped on Netflix and I was like, damn, I was like trying to find something to watch, and I came across The Punisher, and I was like, oh, I feel like I got like 6 or 7 episodes into this and didn't go any further. I watched 1 episode, 1 single episode. I watched about 5 minutes of episode 2, and I was like, damn, this is really fucking good. But then I realized you have to really pay attention to this, and I turned it off.
I'm gonna pin my anger with you for just a moment.
He was great in the second season, was it the second season of Daredevil?
I don't know, Lenny. Did you watch the second season of Daredevil?
I've seen all of the seasons of Daredevil.
Okay, well then you know that he was in the second season of Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Did a fantastic job in that season, and it really laid down the groundwork for what ended up being a great season 1. Probably some of the best, again, I say best TV that Netflix has ever put out. I can rate my level of excitement for finding out that there's a possibility that they're bringing this back for season 4. If you were to give me a chart of 10, I would be at 50. Okay?
Okay, so you're
I'm 5 times the allotment excited. if they bring back Daredevil season 4.
You caught me off guard because I didn't know if you got the numbers wrong and you thought 10 and 100 were the same thing and you were like at a 50% level.
No.
Okay. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm 1,000%.
No, you're not as excited because you didn't watch any of the other shows.
Well, okay, dude, were they that good?
Folks, I'm going to let you guys answer this question. Jump in the comments. We need to let Lenny know what he's missing because clearly there's no hope for this man.
Somebody, like, seriously, because I've talked to like Steve, our boy at Hey Archer. Like, I've talked to him about this before. Like, Jessica Jones, what? Like, it was fucking stupid.
No, Jessica Jones is a bad example.
Luke Cage, he seems cool, man, but like, I couldn't watch the show. Sorry. And then I liked our guy from Shane. What's his name?
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal, Matt. Thank you. He's a damn good actor.
Not enough for you to watch.
Boring.
I can't with you. Okay, so the fact that it's been renewed for season 4, does that excite you?
Yes.
You gave me your level of excitement.
Yeah, no,
What excites you
excited.
about season 4 coming back?
I'm excited about the potential, Matt.
Okay.
I'm excited about the potential. As I said, I did watch all three seasons of this. Although if I remember correctly, the end of Defenders is kind of left as a cliffhanger that I think we need the answer to. Didn't a building fall on? Spoilers, 3, 2, 1, whatever.
Appreciate you.
It's been like 2 years, people. Take it easy.
It's been exactly 2 years.
I believe a building fell on top of somebody.
It did.
Okay.
And
so
we were supposed to be under the impression that someone died. But
potentially fucking Daredevil.
But we get that closure, I feel like.
Did his hand stick up out of the ground?
I think everyone knows that he's not gone. Right.
I mean, there's going to be a season 4 and it's called Daredevil. So.
But if I'm pretty sure season 3 came out after Defenders, and we get.
Did it?
Yes, because we get the whole understanding of how he and Elektra kind of finished their little menage a death. Couldn't really tell you their relationship. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm getting my timelines mixed up. Maybe we should do some better research. But you talk about potential, and potential is what's got me excited about this, because if they can do this correctly, if Disney takes on Daredevil, do you think it makes it to Disney Plus?
Does that seem like it would be an appropriate place for that TV series?
Not at all.
No. Okay. What would it be partnered up along? Like, I don't watch The Mandalorian. That seems like a common theme here. Is that show does that have any like gory like beatdowns? Any one-shot hallway fights?
Nowhere near.
Like,
I mean, we're talking laser beams.
He gets the shit kicked out of him in that series.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a blind guy fighting in the dark. You're gonna have a bad time.
Well, I mean, he's always fighting in the dark, Matt.
No, I know, but I'm just.
So I don't think it's gonna fit. I personally don't think it's gonna fit.
I think Disney also owns Hulu. I think it goes to Hulu because Hulu's known for their more edgy, dark, more mature shows. I think it would probably land on Hulu.
What do you watch on Hulu? Because I think I watch It's Always Sunny on Hulu. That's edgy. That's pretty dark.
But that's not it's not a Hulu series. That's something that they partner up with another network. Hulu's not really known for a lot of their originals. I mean, they do have some good stuff. I'm pretty sure there's Little Fires Everywhere is a good one.
Reese Witherspoon.
Love Reese Witherspoon. Kerry Washington.
Never seen it.
They've got The Handmaid's Tale. There's a few ones that they're really well known for. If Disney can bring back the spirit or the aura of into season 4 for Daredevil, it could kind of put Hulu, at least in my books, from a comic book perspective or a hero's perspective. All of their hero shows have been dog shit. They had Runaways. They had The New Warrior.
I've heard Runaways is okay.
You've heard it's okay. I would say the majority of people would say that it was pretty terrible.
Maybe it was just Kevin Smith who said it was good, and then he just says
Kevin Smith
good.
sipping the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Love the guy.
He sips a lot of Kool-Aid.
He's in on the Kool-Aid.
He did. He's probably off of it now.
Big time.
He's lost a lot of weight.
But when we talk about potential, if it ends up on Hulu, that's fantastic. It gives Hulu a lot of boost. Gives us that dark edginess that we used to with this character. I'd be more interested to see how this ties in with the whole Spider-Man Chronicles.
Universe.
Yeah.
Because, so at this point, they've dropped little hints along the way that it's within the same universe. This would probably be an opportunity to really up that.
Yeah.
there's probably some really interesting ways to do it too. You have right now so much being talked about with casting in the Spider-Man 3 universe there. After the introduction of Jonah Jameson at the end of Spider-Man 2.
Far From Home.
Far From Home, yep. Now you've kind of introduced the fact that other movies and things like that can be brought into this universe. And I think introducing somebody like Vincent D'Onofrio, Vinny D'Onofrio, Bailey.
Shout out to Bailey.
You agree, as always. Give us a second.
We'll take a moment.
All right, so as I was saying, it can introduce, with Vinny D'Onofrio, we can possibly see the introduction of maybe even his Kingpin into this universe.
Well, that'd be the best way to tie it in, right?
A major like adversary to Spider-Man, and a common interest of both him and Matt Murdock.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
And Foggy.
Yes.
Love Foggy.
And the chick from True Blood.
Love her. Probably my favorite redhead. Can say hands down.
She's pretty cool.
Is Vinny D'Onofrio redhead?
I think he's just bald.
Okay, if he were a redhead, he'd be my favorite redhead.
Okay.
But I'd love the idea of being able to tie him in together with the Spider Universe, because the Kingpin, he's the badass in New York City, right? He's the guy who, is basically behind all the major crime. And we haven't really seen that character in the Spider-Man universe yet. We've kind of gotten these one-off villains. If you can get someone that can tie in this entire series, maybe we get the potential for, Spider-Man and Daredevil. Who knows?
I don't know if it plays. If you were going to see a character like Spider-Man in the show itself, it would have to go to Disney Plus. And I think that's the one thing that we have to look at here with that conversation of Disney versus Hulu is the platform.
Sure.
Because you're right, it is a lot grittier to go onto Hulu. But the eyeballs, especially when you start running other Marvel TV series, like your Falcon, Captain America.
It's
Winter Soldier, yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
There we go.
Yep.
Whether it's WandaVision, you add in
which
all
are all
those
hitting
other,
Disney Plus, by the way.
Yeah, you hit all those other shows and be able to kind of promote all of them at the same time. The eyeballs, I think, are going to be a lot bigger on Disney Plus. So if you want to see cameos from bigger characters, at this point, I would say you'd have to see it on Disney Plus.
It'd be interesting to see what they do.
I think you have a better chance of, hey, we're not going to tell you that we're going to make a Daredevil season, and then at some point in Spider-Man 3, you get Vincent D'Onofrio. You get a mention of the Kingpin. You get something like that. And then maybe you build him back up because his character's already gone through so much on the show.
What if we've seen Into the Spider-Verse? If they did live action Miles Morales, you'd have, they had the Kingpin tie into that series. So maybe that's our way in?
Yeah.
Because isn't there talk of a Miles Morales movie or show?
There's definitely talk right now of him being involved in even Spider-Man 3, them potentially casting him in that, in the live action. Just because between the time jump and everything, I think they could make a way to have it work based on the first movie, Homecoming.
That'd be really cool. I think it'd be a good way to tie it in.
Yeah, Donald Glover at some point in there mentions Miles.
Yeah. Who would you want to see play Miles Morales?
I was trying to think about it, honestly.
It's a tough one.
The only person I saw that it kind of piqued my interest was the kid from Stranger Things.
Okay.
I think that he's pretty funny on that show, and I think it could balance it pretty well.
Just wanted to get a name really quickly. But it'd be interesting to see what they do, because now that we're seeing all of these different arcs kind of tie in together, it'd be really interesting to see if they can tie in, because I don't really see them bringing in like a Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, the Defenders. I think they're kind of done with those series, but I think that they might feel like there's some life to this Daredevil thing, especially if you can tie it in with the Spider-Man series.
Well, despite everything of me not watching it, and I don't think a lot of people necessarily watched them, or you would have seen more seasons come out of that stuff. I always thought the casting was strong. I even think the kid in the whatever the bad one was there. Help me, Matt.
Which one are we talking about?
Rich snobby kid.
Finn.
Yes. So like him there, like I think he got better in the second season of that into Defenders.
I like how you type in Stranger Things cast and the only thing that comes up is Millie Bobby Brown.
Well, we also still have it set to past month, by the way. So like maybe she's the only thing relevant in the cast in the past month. Well, basically the whole run. Well, Finn segue. Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. I couldn't remember his last name. I just know him as Finn.
Well, that's the kid in Stranger Things. I don't think that's the kid we were talking about in is his name also Finn in Legend of the Fist or whatever that show's called?
The Iron Fist.
The Legend of the Iron Fist.
Legend of the Iron Fist.
Is his first name Finn?
No.
What's his first name?
That's a good question. Danny.
Danny Fish?
Danny. I'm terrible at this. I don't do names.
No, clearly neither.
And I don't do Google apparently either. Anyway, we're getting very, very much off track here. I'd love to see what they do with the Miles Morales thing. If they're able to tie in the whole multiverse, I think that'd be really cool. Who's your Spider-Man, Lenny?
Same as everybody's. Tom Holland.
Okay. I don't know. You could have been a Tobey Maguire fan.
I mean, I think this conversation's kind of beat to death because I think everybody kind of has the same opinion. Tom Holland's the best like embodiment of everything.
Yep.
Right. But I enjoyed Andrew Garfield's like
Spider-Man
humor and him being a Spider-Man, like behind the mask.
Okay.
I liked him. I didn't really like him as a high school kid, like emo walking through the halls as much.
Yeah, I get that.
And Tobey Maguire to me was just, those first two movies are iconic, but him itself, he always looked kind of old for the role.
Yeah, I mean, he was 30 playing a high school student.
Yeah, I liked the overall movies are great, but him necessarily, like, I'm kind of indifferent in a way.
Yeah, I think it was the first kind of set of superhero movies that we were kind of seeing, and I think that plays a major role into it because at least in my opinion, I think he was an okay Peter Parker. Wasn't necessarily a good Peter Parker, but Tom Holland is the best. He is that person that you see a character and you're kind of like, yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah.
But in other news, when we talk about casting,
there was another big recasting that happened.
And would you say that this was, were they removing the guy or were they changing the guy with Johnny Depp in the Adventures of Grindelwald?
Yeah, the Adventures of Grindelwald, huh?
Yeah.
So, everybody else, you were mad at me, by the way. Like, I let you be, like, irate with me because I didn't watch some bad Netflix shows, which I've been very open on here.
Now you get to dig into me a little bit.
You've never seen a Harry Potter movie, like, ever.
I have.
Nah.
I think you're underestimating how much I actually care about the Harry Potter movies. I've watched every single movie, but if you were to be like, hey, do you remember that time in the Goblet of Fire where the goblet was on fire? I'd be like, no, I don't.
Well, because you just know the titles to the movies, like.
No, man, Prisoner of Azkaban.
So you are talking about the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yes.
Right. That's the first one, and then the Crimes of Grindelwald is the second.
That's
one.
what I was thinking. The crimes, not the adventures.
So, and what we're talking about here is Johnny Depp has been recast in the third movie, the third of the trilogy. His character, he was playing Grindelwald, the main villain, introduced at the end of the first movie and is a major player in the second movie. Off of his drama with his former wife, Amber Heard. I believe I'm correct on that. Talk about a fall from grace, and you almost like, you feel terrible for the guy in a way. Well, I want to be hesitant because like, you want to feel bad for him, but at the same time, he's accused of some not great things.
We're in a world where we don't have all the information.
Yes.
Based on what we've seen, what we've heard, what we've investigated.
She shit on his bed.
She shit on the man's bed.
Yeah.
She beat herself up.
That might, quite frankly, be worse than. I don't want to say
that. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of red flags here, and don't cancel us before we get. Yeah. You could be a man or a woman. Don't shit in my bed.
Yeah.
That's rule number one if you're even in my bed. What are you doing in my bed? 1, 2, what are you doing shitting in my bed?
What are you doing 2 in my bed 4?
I don't understand how this, and it seems like this has been going on for like a decade now.
It is, dude, when did this all begin? I assume it was at least 3 or 4 years ago. You're 100% correct. But at this point, it's almost so long ago that it seems very strange to me that you're just all of a sudden removing him from the movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's because he just lost. He had actually sued for slander.
Yes.
And he lost that case. So I guess that may play into why this is happening right now. but it does seem quite removed from the actual. Like, I felt like this was going on when that movie was coming out, the second one.
Well, it's because this is dragging out to the point where this is now affecting his livelihood. Like, he's losing roles. He lost this one. They're already talking about not casting him in the new Pirates of the Caribbean series.
Yeah, well, or not bringing him back.
Or not
he's already
bringing
been
him back.
cast,
Sure,
right? Like,
sure.
But, you know, he's a person who's going to be forever tied to that series, and he's probably lost a role in it now, at least for some years, because Disney's not going to play around with that. I feel bad for him in a way. He's especially a good guy, and you don't want to live in somebody else's pockets at all here. But from all rumors, his financial situation's not always great. He's quite the spender. So for him to be losing work over this and having to deal with somebody who potentially is just trying to get money from him, but like, Jesus, like, this has been going on since at least 2015, right? Like that's when they got in trouble in Australia. What were they trying to leave with an animal? Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, they got held by Australian authorities because I think they were coming back with one of their dogs. A dog that wasn't supposed to come back.
Yeah, from to the States. So in 2016, the divorce actually happened. So you have a full 4 years that goes by here. That now he's being removed from this role, and in a pretty established role at that. I mean, Grindelwald in the Harry Potter world, matches to inform you since you haven't seen them. He's a bad guy that they talk about in the original movies, and then he's now like, this is a prequel in a way, and this is kind of giving you the backstory there of his interactions. He had a relationship with Dumbledore that's always been kind of curious.
I know Dumbledore, man. He's the headmaster.
But do you know about their curious relationship?
Well, I would say Dumbledore had a lot of curious relationships, like the one that he had with one Voldemort. Everybody's going to get mad at me for saying it.
So Grindelwald was actually a character, though.
But no, I don't know about it.
They rumored, like, J.K. Rowling has said that Dumbledore was potentially homosexual.
Oh, so they had a love interest. No way.
Yeah. So what you're getting now is like Johnny Depp in the movie itself. He wasn't terrible in the second one, but I'm not a huge fan of him. I think he's fallen off quite a bit since like he had that up until about 2005. He's probably untouchable. Anything he did was great. But since then, he's gotten a little weird. He doesn't have a good eye for picking movies. He just picks some of the craziest stuff. I could never watch him and Tim Burton do another thing together and be very happy.
They've fallen off since Edward Scissorhands a little bit.
Yeah, like
to say the least.
Did they both do Dark Shadows?
I'm pretty sure they've done
like a really bad
all
movie.
Of those. The Alice in Wonderland movies. Pretty sure he's a part of that. But let's talk about who he's being replaced by. Mads Mikelson.
Cool name.
For anybody who's not familiar with him, you know him from the Hannibal series.
I didn't watch it, but I'm familiar with the series.
But you know the series.
He's also, I'd like to give props to him because he's clearly already familiar with taking over for a pretty big actor. Because like Sir Anthony Hopkins, right? Oh, yeah. Hannibal Lecter himself, and all of a sudden you're playing.
Yeah, he's no stranger to the big stage. I mean, for anybody else who's followed Mickelson's work, he's made his appearance in the Avengers franchise, I guess you could say, as being the bad guy in Doctor Strange. Caecilius, I think is how you would say his name.
Better chance of you saying it than me.
And then he dabbled a little bit in the Star Wars franchise for Rogue One, as he played one Galen Erso, who was the father of Jay Erso, who was the main chick in that movie. But okay, so you probably know him in Death Stranding video game.
So I do. I am aware. I was already aware of him. So he kind of reminds me of a poor man's John Reno, for one. And also, I remember him from another Netflix movie I've never seen, Polar. Yeah, you haven't seen it either.
Haven't seen it. Nope.
But he was in Death Stranding opposite Norman Reedus, who I'm a fan of. I think he, just from a look standpoint, to me, looks the part. I think I could easily see you kind of blend some of the look you already have with Johnny Depp, which was kind of stylized and weird, and put it on to him.
So maybe they made a good pick casting Mads for Grindelwald, but he's kind of taking a lot of heat for this.
It is a little questionable, maybe in like a guy code sense.
Bro code?
Yeah, Johnny Depp is clearly being run through the mud right now.
In the worst way possible.
His career is being tanked, and it could have been a good opportunity in solidarity for Mads as a fellow actor, I suppose, to step in. But at the same time, I don't know if I can begrudge a man, for one, getting a check, and for two, you're not responsible for anybody else. the show must go on is a very
absolutely.
famous saying.
Someone's going to do it.
Exactly. And if you are a fan of the series, maybe you have a relationship with the director or studio head, I don't blame you.
So you're okay with him stepping in, being a franchise fan yourself?
Yeah, I mean, and like you said before, we don't have all the information.
Yeah.
You know, we are speaking as if like Johnny Depp was innocent of all of these things, but quite frankly, like there's a lot of gray area on both sides. I think we're just assuming because Johnny Depp at this point has always seemed like such a good guy that he wouldn't do these things in a way. But at the same time, enough years of alcohol, cocaine, and if your money situation's very up and down.
Well, you shouldn't buy 30 houses that are worth like $5 million each.
Exactly. You know, but those three things are an ingredient to a guy who I could see, if I didn't just see him in movies all the time, as a guy who might hit somebody.
Again, not having all the information, but do you think that should affect both parties? Like, because Amber Heard at this point has made big movies.
That's the crazy thing. Yeah.
She's in line to be in Aquaman 2. Does she get pulled? Like, when do we draw the line, or what do you think about that?
It does say a lot here about double standard. If like somehow she doesn't get pulled, there's a petition right now that has 1.6 million signatures to remove her from Aquaman 2. I might just say don't make the second movie because, you know, the first one wasn't that good.
Are you saying you're trying to deprive the world of seeing Jason Momoa without his shirt, completely drenched in water?
I assume there'll just be another movie, dude. Like
he'll probably do something else with that
like that's
shirt
gimmick,
off with
right?
water. Yeah, I get
it. But I do think that it would be very typical of Hollywood in a way for her to not get removed.
Yeah, I
think it's not even Hollywood. It's like PC culture. It's like
just on the basis of you shitting on someone's bed. I feel like that has to. Woman. Something has to be wrong if you're shit. If that's even a conversation, like, hey, we have evidence. We still have the sheets.
Did they bag it? If you didn't keep the shit, that's a problem.
That's how you know this is a bad divorce, because you're coming up with just outlandish stories. No, man, this bitch is trying to take my house. She shit on my bed.
I'm just saying, if I had that much money on the line, and she's probably done some crazy shit before shitting on the bed, it's a little weird, maybe, yes, but I might keep the shit just so I can prove that she did, in fact, shit on my bed.
How good are DNA samples for? How long are they
like
for?
with a thing of shit?
Yeah, I don't
know. I know that my dog, whenever I go to the vet, my dog always says like, "Hey, grab like a stool sample if you can and bring it into me." So I assume if I grab it the same day that she did it, and then he's rich, dude. Like, don't buy a house for a week.
Or pay somebody to collect the shit.
Here's the whole thing, man. Don't buy a house for a week. You could pay somebody to pick up the shit. You could pay somebody to test the shit, and you could already have the results just in case. Because this man clearly did not set up his paperwork well enough that he's still been tied in this stuff for 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
Dude, rich people divorces sound so bad. And regular people divorces don't sound great either. But
I'm not sure how often in regular divorces someone is shitting on the other person's bed. There's a lot of outlandish things that are happening with this relationship. My hope is that let's finish it civilized, right? Let's get back to everyone's goal should be making money at this point. If you're in Hollywood, like, what are you doing if you're not making money? Obviously, you're buying 30 houses if you're Johnny Depp. Let's get civilized, get back to making the movie, making the arts. But I do think we need to draw the line somewhere. Neither here nor there. We've got a bunch of stuff to look forward to this week, don't we, Len?
I'd say so. It's a pretty action-packed, competitive weekend.
I mean, to say the least, we can cover just about any part of the spectrum if we wanted to.
Yeah, well, for starters, World I Love. We got some professional wrestling coming up. We had mentioned it on a previous video, and it's happening tonight. On TNT.
What's happening, Len?
It's winter is coming. Winter is on its way.
Nailed it.
Big main event, like pay-per-view main event, biggest event of the year, main event level. Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. Some big stuff happening there. Going to be really excited for that one.
Yeah, you got my beak wet on that one when you started telling me that it was something to look forward to. So I've been watching Kenny Omega videos. I've been watching Jon Moxley as the artist formerly known as Dean Ambrose. I'm getting myself pumped for this one.
You've been getting a taste.
Oh, yeah.
You also, in addition to that, if you wanted to check it out, you're going to have the best entrance in wrestling. My guy, Chris Jericho. Coming out to Judas. So that's going to be pretty awesome as well.
Yeah.
And then coming up this weekend, you also have a WWE event. You're going to have NXT War Games. Are you familiar with what War Games are, Matt?
No, but I know that it's something that you get excited all the time for.
Yeah, so it's pretty fucking badass. It's a concept from like the 90s from WCW.
Are they doing the 3 rings?
No, this is only 2. You did notice the trend in WCW where they were like, cool concept, add rings.
Yes.
So you had 2 rings surrounded by 1 very large steel cage. NXT brought this back a few years ago. The matches are always fantastic, and you have a star-studded lineup this week. You have the Undisputed Era going against professional football player, or former rather, Pat McAfee, biggest podcast in the world, one of them maybe. Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, Oni Lurkin. It's going to be a great match.
Talking about the bruiserweight Pete Dunne?
Yes, sir.
Love that, man.
It's going to be quite awesome, I would say. And you also have a female match with Shotzi Blackheart's team against Candice LeRae's team. A couple of really good things going on that. If you have a WWE subscription, or if you know another way to maybe come across content, it's a good idea for this weekend.
And definitely something to look forward to with one Toni Storm on that card.
Yes, my personal favorite, Toni Storm.
Yeah, I would say she's making her way to be my personal favorite as well.
What do you got going on, Matt? You have anything for us?
Yeah, so going on, we've got UFC Fight Night. Unfortunately, a big card kind of took a hit with Darren Till having to pull from this fight. He was facing Jack Hermanson. Hermanson. I never get those names right, but Hermanson's going to be fighting one Hector Vittori. It should be a good fight. Taking it on short notice.
Is it Hector? I think it's Martin
Vittori. Sorry.
Yeah, talk about a kind of a shitty situation for a guy on a come up. Jack Hermanson, he's coming off a really big win over Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah, he subbed Calvin.
Yeah, it was in the first round, I believe, even. Yeah. And you're coming up right here on another great opportunity, a big name, former title challenger in Darren Till. And unfortunately, that falls apart. And now you're fighting a guy well below your number 4 rank. He's fighting a guy at number 13, which is maybe a dangerous situation, but should be a good win for him to kind of build on.
Hopefully it's not one of those Venus flytraps that you fall into where you're taking a fight to kind of stay active. Hoping he can keep that number 4 tag next to him.
Man, I fell into one of those once, Matt. It took me weeks to get out.
Yeah, they're definitely not easy. And it's one of those things. I'm surprised you found one big enough to fall in for you.
I was younger.
Makes sense. But one guy who's not getting caught in a Venus flytrap is someone who is making his way to being pound for pound number 1 in the pound for pound weight rankings for boxing.
Okay.
Errol
Is
Spence
it
Jr.
WBC, CBC, WVV?
No, that's
X, Y, and Z. What's belt?
I couldn't even give you a division. So I'm pretty sure they're fighting for the WBA and WBO title tonight on Saturday night. You got Errol Spence Jr. facing Danny Garcia. Okay. And if you're not familiar with Danny Garcia, Garcia was an undefeated champion up until a few years ago. And
is he also the one who likes to get hit in the stomach all the time?
He's got videos all over YouTube of him just getting punched in the stomach.
Or does he hit people in the stomach?
So he hits people in the stomach, but it's because he likes being hit in the stomach as well.
Okay. He's a cool guy.
Makes for an interesting fight and actually gives Errol Spence a big name, which is something that's been really missing on his resume. So that's definitely something to look forward to.
You would say it's a must watch for us, like boxing enthusiasts, but not maybe avid fans.
I would say it's definitely one that you want to get your eyes put on, because Errol Spence, from a technician and a skill set standpoint, probably one of the best young boxers right now. But
I'm excited, man.
That's what we got to look forward to for combat sports. But I know that you were talking about a specific movie I should be getting hopped up for.
Yeah, movie I've been holding off on buying, and I had gotten the feeling maybe it ended up on a streaming site coming down the line, and it sounds like on Monday the movie Ava is going to be coming out on Netflix. For those who aren't aware of it, you can go watch the trailer, but just to let you know who's in it, it's Jessica Chastain, Colin Farrell, John Malkovich. It's like a star-studded cast in it. I'm excited for it. I think I'm typically a pretty good gauge on movies, so I think everybody should check that one out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll always
find... like action movies, I guess. If you're looking for something else, don't watch it.
And I'm sure I'll be finding a way to get honey-dicked into watching that as well, as I often do on this show. But that's how we're going to round it out. Tons of things to look forward to, things that we'll probably be talking about when we're back in here next time. But a big milestone for us coming up right now, we're pulling up to 100 followers on IG. So thank you for everybody for the support, hitting us with those likes and follows. Make sure you continue to give us all the love, because once we get to 100 followers, Len,
We have some cool stuff lined up.
The cuffs are coming off, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Big things to look forward to. But as always, thank you for joining us right here. We're going to catch you guys soon. We're out of here.